This is CBS 5 Early Edition.
State health care reform is at the center of vigils going on around the state right now, but Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's offices will tell you why protesters are demanding he put a bill vetoed Friday back on the table.
All right, good morning, everyone. Your time now, 6 a.m. Topping our news, vetoes of health care bills getting a lot of attention today, both in Washington and here in California. In California, there are protests in half a dozen cities against the governor. Our Anna Duckworth is at San Francisco Civic Center, where a coalition of religious groups continues a vigil this morning. Anna, good morning.
Good morning, Cindy. And they're just starting to set up again and restart this vigil here right in front of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger's San Francisco office. As you can see, they have candles lit, flowers out. About a half dozen protesters gathered right now. They set up at noon yesterday, and we're joined by one of the organizers, Reverend Carol Bean. Thank you very much for being here this morning.
It's a pleasure.
And you're with a group called CLU California, Clergy and Laity United for Economic Reform. And tell me why you're staging this two-day statewide vigil.
Throughout our congregations, the stories our members are experiencing, people are dying. This is a life and death issue. We cannot wait. The governor needs to pass affordable, accessible reform this year. And we want to make sure that there's cost containment and that working families can afford this and small businesses can afford it. And all sorts of people in California can make it to the point where they do not have to be terrorized every day they wake up as to whether or not their kids are going to get sick or they're not going to be able to pay for their medications.
And I know you're joined by labor groups here who backed Assembly Bill 8 that was vetoed by Schwarzenegger on Friday. It would have set a minimum standard for what employers pay for health care. What do you think about that veto?
Disappointed. Extremely disappointed. I expected more from a governor who ran on health care reform. He went back to individual mandates. For a family that's even just earning $38,000, they're going to have to pay full coverage on the open market. And the kind of coverage they're going to get is not going to, deal with the needs that they have. Catastrophic, high deductibles, it's just not going to be a possibility. And as people of faith, we're saying we can do better. The governor is a person of faith, and we're asking him to go inside and recognize the stories, the families, the children. We're crying out. In the scriptures, Jeremiah cries out, "When will the health of my poor people be restored?" That's what we're doing. We're doing it in Sacramento, in Riverside, in San Diego, in LA, in Fresno, and here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend Carol Bean. And these vigils are going to be going on statewide, John and Sydney, until noon tomorrow.
Anna, thank you. Anna Duckworth in San Francisco.
House Democrats expected to fall about 15 votes.